Hi guys, hold on for a second. Before we proceed to the video, I have something very important to tell you. Professor Jon V. Kofas has published his new book in collaboration with Little French Media, and the title of the book is Neoliberalism, Inequality, and Authoritarianism. This book details how neoliberalism impacts the geopolitical economy in the 21st century. You can buy it from Amazon and the link is in the description. Thank you. Now let's proceed to the video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is a very brief overview of a longer video, roughly an hour long video on Lebensraum, a German pseudoscientific theoretical concept developed by a German geographer in the late 19th century. It both reflected the era of Germany's quest for empire, acquiring more territory, but it also influenced the mainstream, not just policy, which in many respects it reflected, but it influenced the mainstream of German society, German culture, and the mindset, the thinking of the political elites. A few things that I developed in this session, in this video session, the longer one that about which this is just an introduction. Um, One is that the concept of Lebensraum and German intellectuals um, who followed this, of course, as well as politicians, policymakers, military officers, and so forth. They were influenced by the American westward movement, Manifest Destiny, and the frontier thesis that was developed by an American intellectual, a Harvard University professor, which was also based on some of the same assumptions. It had nothing to do with Germany. It was really about the Anglo-Saxon quest for space and the preeminence of race as it was constructed, again, another mental construct that impacted, of course, the lives of the Native Americans. And eventually, after uh, that was toward the 19th century, that was taken care of, and the Native Americans were regimented into Indian reservations. Then there was an outward expansion, the beginning of an outward expansion era with the Spanish American War of 1898. The other thing that I developed in this session, in this video session, is that Lebensraum was manufactured as a theoretical, again, I stress, pseudoscientific supremacist and racist um, ideology in the late 90s, early 1900s. At the same time, by the way, that another very significant ideology was emerging in Central Europe, and that is Zionism in Switzerland and Austria and Germany. Zionism emerged at the same time as a theoretical construct, political Zionism, at the same time as Lebensraum. Zionism was influenced by Lebensraum rather than denouncing uh, Lebensraum, which of course was practiced all the way down, especially to the Third Reich and Hitler, who made it a central focus of his policy, both domestic and obviously foreign policy, moving eastward, and with his ambitions to take over what was the Soviet Union back then, and the rich natural resources of that country. Instead of rejecting that concept and embracing um, coexistence and human rights and egalitarianism, in other words, some of the ideals of the Enlightenment era of the 18th century, Zionists incorporated Lebensraum. And Lebensraum, it is tragic to say, um, has been practiced since the establishment of the State of Israel um, in 1948 and to this day. Obviously, those who embrace Lebensraum, whether in Germany in the late 19th century, all the way down to Adolf Hitler in the United States with regard to the Native Americans, um, and then versions of that directed toward other people, especially in Philippines, which was the official colony of the United States, the only one, by the way, um, and the quest for outward hegemony in other parts of the world, um, and along with those, of course, Israel and its settlement policy and regimenting Palestinians as it has under apartheid conditions and through force, as we have seen um, since 1948, not just now, this is since 1948. All of this has accounted for the the enduring legacy of Lebensraum under different conditions. So we have an enduring legacy here. And the reason I chose to do this video largely is precisely because of what is happening in the Middle East. The reaction of the West, which is rather blasé, obviously, the rhetoric is, of course, we support democracy, we support human rights, we support, which is completely absurd when you measure that against the acts, the deeds of what governments of the West are, which are to provide the means for war to um, the state of Israel. And then we'll briefly also talk about the proxy war. I also talk about the proxy war, by the way, I should say, in Ukraine, which some scholars, I must say, argue that this is Vladimir Putin's Lebensraum, not the Lebensraum of the US and NATO. And we have to consider. I'm a historian. My business is to analyze, based, by the way, on anthropocentric values, human-centered Enlightenment ideals, not on the interests of one side or the other, and ignoring the human rights and international law as stipulated in the Geneva Convention, as there are states, including the state of Israel, which are doing to this day. I invite you to take a look at this video, write comments, ask questions, observations, and so forth. I also would like to invite you to join this channel. Asad Alim manages this channel. It's an educational channel. The only goal of this is education. The analysis is not designed to promote the interests of anyone, political or economic or social. Not at all. The analysis is designed to look at the empirical data, to look at facts, and present them. This is not intended to massage the facts or manufacture them, as the great Noam Chomsky pointed out when analyzing the role of the Western media. I thank you, and I invite you again to watch this. Thank you very much.